Hello everybody, we're gonna do an audio vlog. An audio vlog? A vlog literally means video log. Wow, we've come full circle. How about audio blog? Beautiful day out here. Let's see what the weather is. High today of 51, low today of 25. Right now it's 41. Bright and sunny. No rain for a couple days, and then rain in the forecast for 7 days straight. Welcome to Ohio. Yeah, right now it's a nice good day to be out here walking. Cycle where I workaholic style, which is my normal mode. But then all that sitting, what happens is your muscles aren't getting used. Your hip flexors, a lot of your trunk muscles, your core, I guess, would be more accurate. And your lower your legs, your core, buttissimus. That's a medical term. So then I pull a muscle or strain a muscle because they're not being used. They're soft. They're weak. Which is what happened. And so then I stretch it out. I get on YouTube. I look at all the stretches. And I've looked at these videos 100 times. I do this all at a regular basis. Stretch them out. Stretch out the muscle. Work it. Strengthen it. Strengthen the core. And then I get better, and then I forget about it. Go back to workaholic mode. Now, I shouldn't say this is all the time. I've kind of exaggerated it there. Just when I'm in power working mode, which is where you set everything aside. Just work constantly, every day, weeks on end. So that's the problem. You're going weeks and weeks on end, months on end. 10, 12, 14, 16-hour days, months. And I'd have to say a couple times years on that. Yes, I have. And anyway, this time it was what's called, something I learned today, last night, today, the gluteus medius. So you might have heard the term gluteus maximus, as I call it in my medical dictionary, the latissimus muscle that you sit on. But of course, if you have a maximus, there's a gluteus minimus. And in between, or let's say in between size, is it's kind of in between, but anyway, gluteus medius. Do they say medius or medius? Medius, yeah, medius, whatever. And there's one exercise, or exercise, I guess, or stretching, or resolution to this problem. What's interesting, so I should say, what's interesting about the gluteus medius is you can't stand up. Like if it's really sore, you can kind of stand up halfway, but then it's super painful to stand up all the way. So you walk around like you're, bent over. So this is on my left side, and so I'm watching this, and he's the YouTube channel is called Athlean X, ATHLEAN-X. He's got like 12 million subscribers, and they've been around for a while. Good channel, and he talk about lifting weights, etc. So he's got his buddy on the floor of the gym there, and he's saying, okay, lay on your side, then take your thumb and press it into the, so in my case, lay on your right side, take your thumb and press it into the muscle. I'm watching this before I did it, I'm like, what? And then you lift your leg, and then turn down your toe. I'm kind of simplifying it, so look it up. But what it's doing is internal hip rotation. And then if you don't turn your toe down, it won't work that specific muscle. And I suppose we could go this way. Except for the road noise, that's the problem with audio. So we'll go this way. So then by pressing it with your thumb, I'd use my fingers, but I think it kind of stabilizes it. But wow, it really worked. He said, so this will resolve the immediate problem. But then he gave exercises for long-term strengthening of your hip flexors and your gluteus medius. Now, the main problem, I think, in my case, is I haven't been out here walking. Basically, there's a lot of there's two major projects I'm working on that are at the very beginning stages. And once I sort of work like a maniac to get them lined up, to get the balls lined up, so to speak, on the table for the project. Then I go back into normal life mode. And normal life for me is walking every day. I would walk every day, all the time. LA, here, this park, I've walked through it a million times, rode my bike around here a million times. But when you don't do that, and you just sit all the time, yeah, like the muscles just get weakened. And what's interesting is that they all correlate together. You know, it's not just one. You just can't. It's not like that's one. You have to have a full body, you know, strengthening routine, because they all work together as a team, counting on each other, relying on each other. You know, you can't have one weak. You can't have really a weak link. You want it to be. It's not like they have to be super strong to be healthy, but you need a system that is resilient, flexible, resilient, strong. Walked out by the water here. This park has cherry blossoms in there. I think this is the final days of them. I think they only bloom for 2 weeks every spring. They look pretty cool. At my university, Ohio University in Athens, which is about an hour and a half from here. I'm in Columbus right now. They did an exchange with a university in Japan, I think in 1975, of trees. And so they planted all these cherry blossoms. It really looks cool when because there's a bunch. They have a ton, almost like Washington Mall. I think we got a reroute here. They block it off. Yeah, it really makes a difference on a really kind of brightens a landscape or landscaping with those cherry blossoms. Yeah, these guys are. This park is interesting. Goodale Park. I don't know if they're trying to. It looks like they're renovating it, but they kind of do sort of ongoing changes. It's hard to say what they're doing exactly. But it's kind of nice to bring the dog down, my brother's dog down here, and go around the pond. They say just walking in nature every day really is positive. It has tons of positive effects. It's kind of like a super drug. And another one I read last night that's interesting, health. Fun fact, I guess. Let me just check my phone real quick. Gotta get in the shade. Yeah, we're good. Any kind of light when you go to sleep is bad. You want it to be completely dark. I didn't read too much more than that, but just the headline. But yeah, you don't want your TV on in your room as you're falling asleep, or your computer screen, or your tablet screen, or phone screen. You know, if you're reading your phone in bed, when you put it on the side, it'll probably turn itself down anyway. But I would put it face down, just based on this. About to sneeze. But, yeah, who knows? I didn't read the study, but he said it really affects you negatively. They said you want it completely dark. Want it completely? These people obviously have never had to get up in the middle of the night. And make a visit. They must be under 30, these people that did this study. 35. All right, 40. They're under 40. Let's go this way. Speaking of humor, I was going to Starbucks yesterday, and I had a mobile order. So I walk in, and every Starbucks is busy, as this one was. It's in the morning. It's probably 8 people waiting. And as I walk up, the guy goes, blah, 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 whatever my drink was, for Joe. And so I raise my hands in victory, just goofing around. I'm like, yes. I mean, like, perfect timing. So this, so now I'm walking past the people waiting for their orders, their Starbucks at the end of the counter there. I'm waiting. Everybody's out here walking their dogs. So this woman starts to walk over to the Starbucks counter to get that order. But as I'm coming up, going, yes. So she kind of bumped into me, and she's looking at me like, what the hell, bro? And so then the guy repeats it, and it wasn't my name. It was close, but I thought I heard Joe, but it was like, I don't know, or it might even have been Joe. But she bumps into me, or I bumped into her. Bumped into each other, I guess, at the same time. And then she, backpedals a half step, and then moves forward and gets her drink. It was her drink. So now I decide, well, that was dumb. I thought it was mine. So I better move out of the way. So I start to walk toward the back of the Starbucks, and she is now behind me, going to the back door to go to her car. And there's people, like I said, it's crowded. So I'm kind of bobbing and weaving, and whatever way I decide to go is the way that she has decided to go behind me. So now I'm blocking her no matter which way she goes. It looks like I'm trying to block her. And I'm going, my whole thing is, hey, sorry, hey, oh, excuse me, oh, sorry, going through, sorry, I try to de-escalate. So I get to the end where there's a little clearing, and I step to the side, and she shoulders me as she goes by. You know what I mean? The old shoulder thump. And in my head, I'm like, really? You just give me the old shoulder thump, shoulder bump? Because she thought I was effing with her, but I wasn't. I was just, so it was a complete fail on my part from the beginning. Oh man, it was funny. Then another funny thing happened. I just couldn't stop laughing. This might be a little bit hard to explain, but so I'm in a suburb called Upper Arlington. Actually, that's where the Starbucks was too. But anyway, so I'm in the, let's see, it's 2 lanes going my way, 2 lanes going the other way, 4 lanes. Big intersection. And I'm in the left lane, and we're stopped at the light. I'm about 8 cars back, and there's really no cars in the right lane. So a guy comes out of a gas station on the right, as I'm looking at the intersection on my right, on that corner. Comes out of the gas station, wanting to go the opposite direction that I'm facing. So he wants to squeeze between one of the 7, 8, 9 cars, however many it was, in front of me. He wants to squeeze in between because there's nobody in the right lane, and we're stopped. He thinks, yeah, if you guys just let me through, I can go the other way. And so he's got a sharp angle coming out of that gas station facing us, sort of, if you can picture that, because he wants to go through and then continue on the opposite direction of what we're facing. So so he steps out into the free lane, the lane there's no cars, and he goes, honk. And then again, honk. Third time, honk. Like he's telling him, can you back up or move up just enough so that I can squeeze through? And I couldn't tell how much space he was requiring, or how much additional space he required. But nobody was moving. Oh yeah. So that's 3 honks, and then a fourth, a little bit longer. This is interesting, the timing and the length of the honks. So the first 3 were kind of bright, like, hey guys, just want to get through. And then, but he wasn't giving up, and they weren't moving. And so I don't know if maybe somebody was distracted, so he thought, oh, they just don't see me, or something. But again, a little bit longer, like kind of like honk, like, and then again, honk. For me, well, again, I don't know what he's seeing, or and typically in Ohio, unlike LA, like in LA, they might about 5% of the time they might help you, but normally in LA they would just pretend they never see you at all, and then too bad for you, But sometimes, you run into a real person in LA, and they might help you out, but it's rare. Just because it's way too crowded all the time. But 5 honks, and I'm like, wow, he's persistent. Now, I will say, I don't give it that long. I'll just reroute or do something, because it's too much hassle to me to go through all that. But he's sticking with it. I'm like, all right. So again, honk, like a little bit longer, honk, but still kind of, you can see the look on his face, still kind of like, it was kind of smiley, but now it's not. They never let him through. They never let him through. And I'm laughing. I'm just laughing because we've all been there. And I just thought, oh man, they're not giving this guy a break. Oh man. They are not giving this guy a break. And so he ends up backing up into the gas station, because now cars are starting to come. He can see him coming, down behind us toward him, and oh. Well, the other part of LA, what would happen is that right lane would not be that open that long. You might get, and again, I'm generalizing, but in the city where I live, yeah, these cars will be coming within seconds, just because there's so many cars. It's really hard to describe unless you've been there. I drove a dude and his wife from the airport to downtown. I go, the weather was beautiful, and I said, they're from Seattle. I said, maybe you guys will move here, like right at the end as I dropped him off. He goes, not a chance in hell. He was the older guy, and he's like, no. Because once you're in that traffic, it's a whole new understanding. And I mean for, you know, an hour, 2 hours, half a day, week, whatever. Then you'll really understand how bad the traffic is.
The fact about it, he doesn't even have to jump that high.
Oh, here's another funny thing. So, up in Dublin, I was up in Dublin, and these people live, let's see, it's up in Dublin. Dublin's a real nice area, nice homes, you know, upper income community. So I get to their house, and their driveway's filled with cars, which they're, you know, they have a big family. So I park in the street, no big deal. And they have, and I had never been there. So I see these two dogs, these nice dogs. I don't know what breed, but you know, you can tell that they're expensive dogs. And there's two of them, and they're not huge. Like you wouldn't look at them and go, "Oh, that dog's huge," but it's a big dog, and there's two of them. So as I walk up, they're just looking at me, and I really haven't had any problem with dogs. I don't have a fear of dogs. We grew up around dogs, and I would think maybe if you were bitten one time, you might have a fear, but nothing has ever happened to me, so I don't have any fear. So I walk up, and as soon as I step on the driveway, they go like real low, both of them at the same time. Start giving me the warning growl, and I'm like, you know, actually I didn't say anything. I might have gone, you know, sometimes you say it's okay, but I don't reach out. You know, I don't want anything bitten off of me because I don't know. So the driveway is asphalt, and I'm trying to get to the stone walkway. So as soon as I get to the walkway, so they're following me, growling, meaner as I advance. And the garage door's open. Like there's people, you know, cars there, the garage door's open, but nobody's coming to my rescue. And you know, again, I don't anticipate problems. They'll probably just sniff me and go away, hopefully. But it gets worse. I mean, their growling gets worse and meaner and more protective of their house or whatever they think is going on. These cherry blossoms really do look cool. And so I step 1 foot onto the stone walkway, and they start jumping on me and barking loud. And so they're big. So when they stand up on their hind legs and then put their front paws on your shoulder, barking, it's loud, and it's right next to your ear. It's two of them. You know, it's in stereo. And I just, all I could think of to do is just lift my hands up like, you know, there's no threat. I don't know if that was maybe more of a threat, because it maybe looked like I was going to hit him or something, but, you know, it was kind of like a surrender. So then I get to the door, and I guess it was the father, maybe? Yeah, because I don't know. I just knew the one person comes to the door, and he's like, oh, sorry, man. Get down, guys. Get down, dogs. Get down. Get down, Hunter. Get down, you know, Stussy, whatever. And I don't know what they're making up names. And he says, I thought we were I thought I was going to beat you. You beat me here. And I was going to put him in the house. But you beat me here. And I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, yeah, good timing. but what I said was, it's no big deal. You know, they love me. You know, just start lying. He goes, yeah, they do. They love you, man. Like, come on, guys. You know, and I just thought of all these stories of, I think it was, well, all these stories of people saying, oh, he's, you know, like at the dog park. Somebody saying, he loves everybody. You know, and then the dog ends up biting a baby or something, or a person, or whoever. And, oh, jeez, that was all in the last few days, man. All those stories. It really is a nice day out here. So this is my attempt to start walking again, and you know, even as I know, because I pulled this muscle or whatever I did to it, injured it or overworked it, I don't know. And I've been here before. I know the routine. You know, different injuries because due to inactivity. I'm like, oh man, I gotta start walking. I can't. It would just stress me out so much, though. This is a sign you're a workaholic when you're working out and you're stressed because you know you want to be working. So it's obviously a brain disorder, you know. It's especially because walking just itself, or exercising, running, but you know, even just walking. Does so much for you that is good for your working. It helps you, you know, your brain function, your sleep. You know, you'll feel better, your positive mental outlook. You know, but when you're in workaholic mode, I don't know about you, but it's all about caffeine and the computer. Right? That's it. So. Because that's a drug. See, people don't understand. They're like, oh, you're a workaholic. You're covering for, you know, trauma. Yeah, that could be. I don't know. But it's so much fun. Like, it's fun to work on projects that you love and that are moving forward, that you're seeing take shape before your eyes. It's really exciting. Especially when the money starts coming in. If, you know, hopefully. You know, so now a creation of yours, and it may not be a sculpture, you know what I mean? It's a project. It's a business. I just call it projects. It's like a drug. It really is. It really is. I think everybody's experienced that to some extent, whether it be athletics or watching their kid accomplish something, or I saw a video of these young kids. They were two boys wrestling. They looked to be about maybe 8 or 9. And they're wrestling. Let's say red and blue. So, red dominates the match, and this is, I don't know, wrestling, that, you know, how long the matches are or whatever, but the whole video was like a minute. So again, I don't know how many rounds or how it works, but red, it was a smaller kid, or the smaller of the two, is winning. It appears to be winning the match. And at the very end, Blue, and this is what's kind of neat about wrestling and mixed martial arts, is how fast it can change. Blue picks him up, like somehow reverses whatever death grip that Red had him in, and in the process picks him up and slams him to the ground for the win. He ends up winning. Again, I don't know, so they're holding the ref, just like I think they do it just like in boxing, where the ref holds both their arms, and then when they announce the winner, he lifts the winner's hand, which is what he did for Blue. Blue won. The Red guy is just, again, they're like 8 or 9 years old. You can see Red guy during this entire ceremony of the award, where they award the winner or name the winner. He's not happy. He's kind of crying. He's kind of that, sort of seething, crying, like angry cry. But he's not like sobbing. It's just more like, you can see he's kind of half crying, kind of like half, like smoke coming out of his, in the cartoons. So they lift the arm of Blue, and Red steps over, smacks him, punches him, or kicked. I can't remember. Kicked him or punched him. Oh, that started a whole. So now Blue is like, what the F? And he starts chasing Red around, and I'm making up the colors. I forget. If you see the video, I might have it wrong. But just to make it clear, they start a fight, and now the adult, they're little. The adult is trying to keep them apart. I mean, and Blue's like returning fire. He's like, no, dude, you don't get to do that. And he tries to do a kind of a what do they call that? Where they kick the leg? I guess into your shin bone, shin leg kick, I guess. And he's trying to do that to Red, but the referee was pretty tall, so he could keep them apart pretty good. But they're quick. They scurry. It's not that easy. Even if you have them, they can. So just the dynamic of the adult trying to keep them apart, and the speed and cunning of these little kids. Like they don't really know how to. It's like a cartoon in a way. Oh man. Oh my. He just couldn't handle it. I think he was partly embarrassed, maybe, or I don't know. But I mean, that's part of sports. I've told this story a million times, but when I lived in Akron, so we moved to Akron right when I started college, and my dad worked at the University of Akron, so I went to the University of Akron because it was free, and I started looking around for activity, all right, we're like, okay, well, Akron, Ohio. We moved around all my life, so I'm kind of used to it. I was kind of used to it, but let's get involved. Let's do stuff, And so I was like, do they have a hockey team? No hockey team. Not in Akron. Cleveland has one. Cleveland State. It's up in Cleveland. It's about 45 miles. Yeah, but I don't go to Cleveland State. So I look it up. I call somebody. This is pre-internet. Oh, you don't have to go here. It's a club sport. Oh, cool. Let's do it. And so I couldn't make. I don't think they had practices even. I think they just played games. But it's a bunch of hackers like me. But they had a schedule, and so I played for them. And it kind of petered out just because the drive was too much. But one team we played was Ohio University in Athens. Now I ended up transferring there because they have a real good broadcast program. And but before they did, my freshman year I was at Akron. So we traveled down to Athens, about a 4-hour drive from Cleveland, to face the Ohio University Bobcats. Now, they had a pretty good team. We were not. If you remember the Hanson brothers on the Chiefs bus, whatever that team was, the Chiefs, that was us. You know, it was basically the Hanson brothers. The guys who were smoking weed between periods in the locker room. This kind of hockey team. And the old Bird Arena in Athens, Ohio, home of Ohio University, was wire. It wasn't glass. It's a wire fence from the early days of hockey. You see those old pictures of the Maple Leafs and, you know, the Jacques Plante in net for the Toronto Maple Leafs from like 1958, and you look behind them and it's all fencing, you know, chain link fencing. That's what they had still. No glass. That's kind of odd because they had a popular hockey program, but I think that was also a club sport there actually too. So it wasn't, you know, it wasn't like Boston College or something where it's been a sponsored, university sponsored sport since 1896 or whatever. But I was one of the better skaters. Now, I was not a very, you know, just very average in on a true team, but on a sort of a club sport team from Cleveland State, I was one of the better skaters. So I'm behind the net, on our own net, with the puck. And I decided to come out. There's one guy on their team who's this big bruiser guy, but he's a forward. So he was fast for a big guy. Typically, those guys will play defensemen. So I start to come out to the right from behind our goal, and he's right there. And I decide, nope, I'm going to go the other way. Just take the puck, you know, quick stop, go back the other way. I come back to the left side. He's there. I'm like, how did you get over? Like, how? Just basically looking at him, you wouldn't think he was that fast. At least, you know, just my hockey, you know, physics in my head from playing all my life. I thought I could easily beat him coming the other way. I think this was early on in the game before we knew how fast this galoot was. So I go, okay, going back the other way. I go back the other way. He's there. I said, screw this. I'm going to go around. I'm going to go around him. You know, now I'm in my head. I think I was like, I can beat you. I'm going to beat you. He hits me as hard as I've ever been hidden. He lifts me up. He hit me square in the chest, like direct hit. Like if you put a target in the middle of your chest, direct hit, or it lifts me up. The place goes crazy. He's lifted me up in front of, like right near my own goal. Like so I can barely breathe. I go down and I can barely breathe. But the one thing you don't want to do in any sport is show that you're hurt. And so now I'm skating back to my bench. Actually, I think the play ended or something. Because I remember, so now I'm skating back to my bench before I die, but I'm trying to be cool. You know, because I don't want anyone to know, in this crowd that is just going crazy, that I'm dying. I'm going to die, and so I can just remember skating slowly, like, oh, no problem, I'm okay, you know. But also trying to take half breaths, like just trying to get in what oxygen I could, but without appearing to look like I was breathing heavy or gasping for, you know, trying to gulp air in, you know. So I'm just keeping my whole body very still, like, yeah, no problem, no worries. We got this guy. We're gonna get this guy. Meanwhile, my left and right ventricles are crying, are on full alert. My heart has hit the alarm. My lungs and heart have hit the alarm. It's like, no, bro. So I make it back to the bench. I sit down and then just start heaving in air. Well, trying to decide, did he break any of my ribs? Oh, man. I've told that story 100 times on these audios and videos, but it just made me think about when I was talking about those two kids, those two wrestler guys. Oh, and I ended up transferring down to OU, and Ohio University. Real good broadcast program. And so one time, so I didn't play for their team. I was going to play for their team, but I kind of just realized I don't have enough time to do everything I want to do. And it's still a problem I have today. I really need 48 hours in a day for me to be totally happy. But they had a real good broadcast journalism program. And I would actually kind of moved over more to the business side because I did a sales internship and I got into sales and did real well in sales. But before graduating, I dabbled in, you could sign up to be a broadcaster of those hockey games, of the Ohio U hockey games. And I'd been broadcasting hockey games in my head, or when we were kids on those long Wally World vacations. I'd do a whole game in the car and drive everybody crazy, and I liked it. But it's funny when you try something that you love, sometimes you just don't want to do it for a living. And so I ended up not doing that. But I loved it. I loved the, they had a little radio station or whatever. And I'm sure there was maybe 10 listeners, but it gives you a chance to be bad. So just last week I had surgery on those ribs. No, I'm kidding. The doctor said, did you suffer an accident many years ago? And why didn't you get this fixed? Oh, I'm lucky. You're lucky you haven't punctured the lung, sir. There's a sign here in Goodale Park. It says, Ohio State Champion Tree. Then it says the Latin name, Ulmus carpinifolia. And then below that it says Smooth Leaf Elm. Columbus Recreation and Parks. However, that's funny. Recreation and Parks, not Parks and Recreation. But it doesn't say why it's the Ohio State Champion Tree. We don't know. We don't know. See, this is why you need to hire a writer. A writer would say, a good writer would have said, you're leaving a lot out of the story. Because their first thought will be, well, why is it the Ohio State Champion Tree? Just as I thought, this walking has helped my gluteus medius already. But I knew that. See, this is the bad thing. None of this is new to me. This is why it's bad. See, one of your goals in life should be to take in new information, feedback on actions you've taken, adjust so you don't make those mistakes again. What do? I just keep working like a maniac. And you know what? You know what results in that? You know what results come of that? Heart attack. So, but I'm gonna head back. I'll talk to you guys soon.